can Mikel Arteta win a trophy with Arsenal, or win a league with Arsenal, is what I actually want to go into today. So yes, welcome to the channel again, guys. Thank you for coming along. Welcome to another Drive With Me episode. I will be doing a real life content video very soon, so stay tuned for that. And anyway, we'll crack on straight into this video. So yeah, we're going to talk about Arteta today. I've talked about a few managers so far, and I thought if I'm dishing out all this manager content, I may as well take a look at my own manager, you know. So yeah, we're going to delve into Arsenal a bit today, delving into Arteta, what he's done, how much time I think he should be getting, if he's going to win a trophy, because there's a lot of rumblings right now. I wouldn't say it's like mainstream, but there's quite a few rumblings in the fan base maybe about Arteta, and people starting to question whether or not he is the right guy for the job. I can't remember who it was that said that Arteta won't win a league title with Arsenal. It might be Paul Merson, but we never listened to him anyway. But still, yeah, I just thought it seems like it's all got a bit stale with Arsenal for a little bit. I mean, this could all change in two weeks' time when we play Real Madrid if we were to get a positive result at home. And listen, with that Real Madrid game on the horizon, it's massive for Arsenal, that game. It's massive for Arsenal, it's massive for Arteta. It's the biggest game our club's had in years. I think it's the biggest game we've played for probably since like an FA Cup final. That's what I'd be guessing, because we haven't gone to the wire in the league, being top of the league, if that makes sense. Because that would be a bigger game. If you're like Man City last season, we're playing as West Ham for the league title, you win the league title, that's a bigger game, I'd say. But I definitely think in terms of the occasion and the pressure on this game and how the season's gone, it's an absolutely huge game for Arsenal. And it's going to be a lot riding for Arteta as well, because it's obviously his last chance of silverware this season in the Champions League, and he's arguably going to be one of the best teams in the world, if not the best, to get there. But we're going to look back now. So when he first comes in with Arsenal finishing, I think he must have finished 5th or 6th under Emery, I do forget. He came in during what ended up being COVID season, finished 8th, won obviously the COVID FA Cup, and then I think we finished 5th the season after that, and I think we went 8th, 5th, and then we jumped up to 2nd, and then we've held 2nd for the last 3 seasons, basically at this rate, as long as all goes towards the plan this season, towards the end of the season. So he's definitely taken a mediocre Arsenal, and he's taken them to heights that we would never have expected to get to. I was thinking just before I filmed this, I was like, when was the last time Arsenal reached 80 plus points in a season before Arteta? And I can't remember it, because that would mean that we were in a title race right to the end, and I don't remember the last time that happened for us. It should have happened in the Leicester season when they won it. We should have actually won that title, and that's the one that after that season, that's the season I went, Wenger's got to go now. Just for the idea that you've been beaten to a title by Leicester, who won on 81 points. I was just like, if you're gonna want to win another title, that's your one chance at it right there. But yeah, 80 plus points, I don't know. It's got to be a good 15-20 years nearly since we hit 80 plus points. And obviously Arteta's come in, hit it in back-to-back seasons, I think, and I don't think we're going to hit it again, unfortunately. I just don't see it. I reckon we'll finish mid to high 70s, which is not great, but I think we'll get into the season with Arsenal, because I've spoken about it in one of my previous videos. But some things he's done well, some things he's done not so well over the years, and how it's going to paint a picture for the league title in the future. So Arteta clearly wants to win the league. Like, that's his be-all and end-all. You know, he clearly hasn't really respected the cups enough, or he hasn't wanted to do that well in the cups the previous years, because he's fielded weakened teams. He's just not given it the time of day, really, because he's been so focused on the league title, and that's resulted in us not obviously doing well in the cups. And also, you're going up against juggernaut in Man City, and then obviously we had Liverpool last season competing with us. So it's quite a big risk to just focus on that league. Whether it pays off in the long haul, it remains to be seen, because it's creating pressure on him now, taking this hard route of just going for the league title and no cups. It's why this season the Carabao Cup felt quite important. Oh, sorry guys, waking up again. Standard than most videos now. Yeah, the Carabao Cup felt quite important, and the FA Cup as well. Especially this season, going out of it when all the big dogs are basically out of it apart from Man City, it just feels like a massive missed opportunity at not an easy trophy, but an easier crack at a trophy, because it's been so hard to win trophies with Man City being so good. So it feels like every trophy means more now. Like the Carabao Cup feels like it has more meaning again now, not just because Newcastle won it, but just in general it feels like they have. Feels like there's much more tension on the cups now, and I think Arteta has realised he needs to actually give a bit more time of day to these cups. So is that going to have a negative effect on the league, is the question. Because you could argue now we've gone further in cup competitions, but our league form might have suffered for it. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the league form was going to suffer anyway. We just never clicked this season. I think Arteta, I don't know how, but I do feel like last season that amazing run we went on in January was planned. I think he's looked at what Pep's done at Man City and tried to copy it in terms of. So the season before that was when we came out of the blocks absolutely on fire, and we were miles away in the league at the top of it, and then we crumbled in March, April, May. That's when we crumbled, and like we just fell away. So I think he's looked at Guardiola and gone, look, we need to just be in touching distance by Christmas, and then we need to kick on and go on a massive run after Christmas, because it's what Man City do every year. So I think that's what he's looked at and gone, okay, we need to do that. So I think last season, when we were playing like a bit mediocre, I think he's literally gone, that's fine, as long as I think he's probably worked on other stuff in training, and he's not necessarily focused on like maybe the attacking movements, attacking plays that much, and he's just made sure that we keep in touch and distance to that top spot. And then we've gone second half of the season, gone off to Dubai, obviously come back and really kicked on. And I think that was, I actually know, like I said, it was on purpose a little bit, because it's so hard to maintain those high levels throughout the entire season. Man City don't even do it. Man City normally have a slow start. They normally start slow in August, bit slow in September, warming up in like October, November, and then by the end of December, coming into January, they've hit gear 6. You know, they've gone through the gears throughout the season, and then eventually they just hold that gear 6 and they go all the way. So that's how they normally do it. So I think that's what he's trying to embed into his team. Obviously, that if he tried it this season, it has not worked at all, because he's been hampered by injuries if he's been trying to do that. So we couldn't even get out of gear 1 when we needed to get out of gear 1 after the first month with Odegaard being out. I do think he needs a bit of a reset now, Arteta. So when he first came in, he fixed the defence, and then we went really attacking, and then we've gone really defensive now in a couple of seasons. You know, done that. We've regressed our style of football. So I do feel like he needs to have a reset himself and just refocus a bit more. I think he needs to change the way he thinks he can win a league. Oh, fucking hell, okay. Wait for this guy to go past, sorry. Very fast. Yeah, because he thinks we're going to win the league title by having the best defence, which makes sense because the season we were playing really attacking football, he took us to the Etihad and we got slapped trying to go toe to toe with them. But he's got to find a fine balance. I thought last season we've had a really good balance, and I think we should have just tried to do that again. But he's gone really heavy on the defence this year. Obviously we've reinforced with another defender. We bought in a 6/8 in Marino, and he didn't do any investing up top, which is just, you don't really see big teams not buying a forward or like an attacking sort of player in a window, even if it's a backup player. Like Liverpool would normally be buying a backup player for that front three back in the day. City are always thinking of another winger, or an attacking midfielder or something like that. So yeah, I think he needs to put some more emphasis back on that attack, because he's got to look at the way Man City are now and look, they're not going to be straight back up there next season. They're going to need time. They'll probably need a season to bed in all their players, and then second season, don't be surprised Man City second season they kick on and go again. But football is changing slowly again. It's going back to how it used to be in terms of having dribblers and mavericks in your team who kind of just make something out of nothing. It went out the game a lot for a long time with the positional play and systems-based stuff. It made it quite. The perfect example of it is Man City versus Arsenal. Whenever we played, maybe without this season, but even with this season, the games are a little bit drab because it's like a chess match. Now it's quite interesting to watch for me, like trying to understand the tactical elements of it. But for a neutral fan, it's like, oh my god, we have to sit through this. These are the best two teams in the country. Like, obviously we had a 0-0 last season and a 1-0 win last minute, basically. So that's what I'm trying to say when it comes to the positional tactics. But I think that's changing now. I think we're getting to a point of teams want to have these dribblers in their team. They want to have people that get through these system teams. Perfect example this season was Aston Villa against Man City. So if you didn't watch it, Morgan Rogers was like, he looked like a prime or Messi or something like that, the way he was dribbling through Man City. Every time he picked up the ball in the middle of the pitch, he was just driving through the Man City midfield. Maybe it's because of the Man City midfield, but he did it against Arsenal as well at times. So there are players that can break down these positional systems, and he's one of them. And they're getting to be quite a few. You've got like Cole Palmer at Chelsea. Even like someone like Brian and Wemmer at Brentford. These sort of maverick players that are just doing something out of nothing. I look at Ahmad at United. So it is going to be interesting to see if he adapts to these changes in football. If he goes out and gets like an Inaki Williams from Bilbao, you know, someone who can take players on. Because that's one thing I say in our team. If you take Saka out, no one's beating a man. Like, Saka is not your typical dribbling winger who takes on this man every single time and runs at him. He's very efficient, Saka, you know, he doesn't have to take on his man every time. If his man shows him down the line, he'll take on the line. But if his man that says, oh yeah, cross the ball, don't get me wrong, he'll put in a pinpoint cross, but he won't take his man on in that sense, which is also a good thing because it means that he doesn't lose the ball very often. And 9 out of 10, he's actually got quality on his end product. Doesn't actually make a difference, but not not every winger's like that. You need someone to cause a bit of mayhem. Like Martinelli a couple of years ago, that's what he was doing. He was causing absolute mayhem. And Martinelli looks a bit like Jack Grealish now, where it looks like he's either had his confidence, probably both, his confidence has been taken from him, and that maverick ability of just taking on his man has just kind of been coached out of him. It looks like it's been trained out of him over the years. So now when he goes to take on someone, he just has no confidence in order to do it. And I think Arteta's got to let the reins off a little bit there. I think the team's good enough for Arteta to just go, look, you guys do your thing, go attack with some freedom. You've got Saliba, you've got Gabriel, you've got Rice in there, you've got Partey. Make a little box in there, or you could even tuck in Ben White or Timber to make a back three if you want, and then just be like, look, you guys fly, go, be free, go fly. So I think he's got to take his foot off the brake a little bit and just be like, there's a chance we can actually just be the best attacking team and win the league. I think it's come out of his head that I think he's so obsessed with this idea that you have to have the best defence in the league, you have to do that, we have to do this. It's like, nah, the football's changing. It's changed already. That Man City team is not there anymore, and they won't be there next season. They'll be in and around third and second maybe. I don't think they're going to win the league next season, Man City. I think there's too much work to be done for them. Too much of a reshuffle. Too much of a rebuild. So I think there's still a chance next season you can do it. I think Liverpool are going to have a rebuild next season as well, of how many players they're going to have leaving their club at this rate, potentially. So I think he's got to look at next season and be like, look, we're going to be the best attacking team, and we're just going to try and blow teams away. Because I think he's scarred from that first title challenge when Saliba got injured and we just got torn apart and we crumbled. These players are older now; they've got more experience. They don't need to be coached in terms of having the best defence in the league. You've done that. You've got the foundation. Kick on from here and go for the attack again. That's what I want to see anyway as an Arsenal fan. It feels like he's coached every single little aspect of the team, and I'm not criticising him here. This is the thing. I want to be clear. I'm not criticising Arteta here. I think he's done a fantastic job with Arsenal, and this season he's had a lot of injuries to try and move players around, find areas we need to get little niches in. You know, he's moved. I know we've gone on set pieces heavy, but that's also with the injuries we have to the creative players. Obviously, our goal XGs are going to go down, so we're going to need to find other ways to try and score. And he's found set pieces and he's honed in on that, which is fine. He needs to keep that, but he needs to mix it with a free-flowing attack next season, and he needs to go out and buy a couple of attackers, and he needs to buy the right attackers. I don't want to see any risky ones like Kai Havertz was, you know. I don't want to see anything like that from Arteta. I want to see proven attackers coming in this summer. I'm hoping Berta, the new sporting director, he signs quite fast Atletico Madrid, so I'm hoping that he comes in and goes, look, this is how we're going to do it, Arteta. Like, we're going to do this, this, and this. I've already seen our top three players are meant to be Isak, Guimaraes, and Zubimendi. Now, I love the Isak shout. I'm not sure about the Zubimendi shout. I think he's a very good player. Whether you need him if you can get Bruno G as well, I'm not convinced. Because I think if you can have a midfield of Bruno Guimaraes, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard, that is the best midfield in the league, I think. Obviously, you can have depth, I guess, with Zubimendi, like he can come in. So yeah, I think that's what he needs to look at and go, alright, I've done really well this season in terms of keeping us going, keeping us competitive, getting this defence back to where it was. Because at one point in the league we were conceding goals at the start of the season. We've become a lot more stingy now in the second half of the season again. So he needs to look at it and go, right, that's done. Now I need to go and be creative with these forwards. And that's why I keep trying to push this Nwaneri and false 9 position, because I just don't want to see him stall. I think he's so good. You have to give him this shout for the end of the season. There's 10 games to go. We're not going to finish outside the top 4 realistically, unless we completely crumble. You're going to have Saka back soon. Like, give this kid some minutes. Put him in the false 9 position. Maybe he's waiting for Saka to come back before trying it. I don't know, but I just don't think he's going to try it. I don't think he will. I think he's going to keep playing this Mourinho in striker, and that means we're going to end up playing against Real Madrid with Mourinho in striker, which kind of scares me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you, because I don't think he beat Real Madrid with Mourinho in striker. I just don't see it happening. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm really, really, really wrong, but that's just my opinion. So, whether or not he can win a league title, I think he definitely can, and I think he's the man for Arsenal. I've never questioned that once. But I think he needs to have a look at how he's been playing and adapt. That's the key thing, and the key word here is he needs to adapt to the new way the Premier League's going, and he needs to change up his tactics a little bit. He needs to tweak them, and he needs to be a bit less stubborn in the transfer window, a bit less arrogant in terms of the players he brings in. Because someone like a Havertz, I agree with what people say, it's a bit of a vanity project. You know, he wanted to show everyone that he could change his player back to who he used to be. It didn't work in terms of he wanted to be the 8, and he wasn't the 8. So yeah, I think he needs to start going for proven players a bit more. We're at the stage now where we don't really care about bringing in a kid right now, or like kids, like younger players, because we need experience in the team. We need players who want to win now. Obviously, I like the links with Naipan right now. I think that's a very good signing if we can get him done. All my FM players will know about Naipan from Norway. But yeah, I think that's what he's got. I think he's got to do that. I think he can definitely win a title. If he wants to win a cup, he can go win a cup. I think, just as long as we don't play Newcastle. Definitely our bogey team now. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below, and thank you for coming along today, and peace.